It's just so funny wasting my time doing this. Okay, so and that's why I need to get paid because I shouldn't have to do this. So that's why I need money for the city. So the other issue is talk to city administrator. He says the only way to get on the agenda to speak to the commissioners who run the city and oversee these different departments to try to create constructive change and to try to provide some analysis to help move this city in a more positive and uplifted direction to help to help alleviate the concerns and the friction between the citizens and the town, just to be a good Samaritan, even if my $10 ticket, not so worried about at this point, not even trying to get the money so much at this point, but trying to do the right thing and to make the change. You know what I mean? I try to rise to the challenge and help these guys be better Americans. So to get on the meeting to talk to the people, because I tried to talk to the mayor, and he said, well, there's a couple meetings. I'm like, well, I'll change my schedule and take the time to try to get here, to be there, to voice these concerns to the people who run this city directly, and professionally and reasonably, so that they will have an opportunity to try, because they're the ones positioned to be the leaders and to be the communicators here and try to better manage these departments, not just the sign, but the issues but the design of the city and how over time, you know, making not having the sign and persecuting people for trivial things and driving them out of an area, by stalking and harassing, intimidating them, threatening them to a different area of town. Then there's behavior changes where they're over time they will become more of a burden on your healthcare and your criminal justice system and less good citizens. And it's not if your city was designed better, you wouldn't have. So those are the things I want to talk about, with actually good supporting evidence and more details in a real concise way. But so we want to get on the agenda. So I talked to the administrator, mayor's, having a fictional breakfast or something with the police chief somewhere hiding, and or maybe there is a real thing, but I think this exact same thing happened last time, and they're just lying and hiding. So, and if they're not, they can produce something that shows that they're not lying and hiding, right? So, really quickly, so to get on the agenda, and it would have to come, is what he says, from either the city attorney's office or from the police department. Now, I've already caught both of these people without business cards, acting unprofessional, and so it's unlikely that they're going to want me to be on the agenda of the people who oversee them, because it'd be like catching a kid doing something wrong and trying to tell their parents so that the parents can correct the kid. And the analogy is the kid is the city attorney, acting unprofessional, walking around without a tie, without a business card, and the other kid would be the police department and all of the issues that other citizens, as well as the issues that I have with that police department, bringing up. So that's where we're at. So it's unlikely that they're gonna go to their parents and say, go to the actually commissioner's office that manages them and oversees them, and want this person who is pointing out their flaws to be even heard out. So they're gonna do everything they can to try to probably further harass, intimidate, and threaten, just like we just saw with the park enforcement car guy, at that parking lot, vacant parking lot, parked incorrectly, aimed at my car. I can't walk away from my car for 5 minutes. I feel like, here, and if that's not the case and that's just where he parks or whatever, he should be parked correctly, an American and under the law, especially he's a parking guy. You know what I mean? So, and if he's a parking guy, he's just gonna park wrong. There's no shade there or whatever. Then it becomes something that's almost disorderly towards me, because I have to go over there and talk to him and be like, am I doing something wrong here too? There's no signs that say I can't park here, because it is kind of an open parking lot there. Is there something that I'm doing wrong here? Why is your car parked incorrectly and aimed at my car? Which is a total reasonable question. But and now we're getting, and then the city administrator says, well, it would have to come from the police department for you to get on the agenda. And I said, well, is it something where there's a certain time of your meetings that I could just come and talk? And he said, or it would have to come from the city attorney. And I'm like, I think it's unlikely, since I've already pointed out their flaws, that they're going to do that. And then I said, is there anything in writing that supports what you're telling me? And he says, no, that's just how it's always been done. It has to come to get on the agenda from those people. They have to think it's worthwhile. Well, I think it's worthwhile that a 70-year-old guy is getting, killed in your town. I think it's worthwhile that you have some corrective good signage. I think it's worthwhile that if your parking person's parked incorrectly, that's a problem. They shouldn't be aimed at my car. Park somewhere else. You know what I mean? I think it's a problem that I've been stalked, harassed twice at a certain business in this town by the same officer. You know what I mean? And all kinds of other people have the same complaints in this town, in this area, against this police department and against the city for their corruption and for their and for their numerous inadequacies, and also the fact there's no business cards, it's etiquette, it's all these things snowballing to the point where, so they're actually going to try to make it so that I can't even be heard by the people who are paid to run the city and to make decisions